We're back again. Smack Talk Live, episode number 12, going down another week in the world of slap fighting and power slap. Lots going on. I was just talking on the IG Live about everything. We've got some controversial comments going on social media. We've got season 3 wrapping up. We're seeing some of the guys celebrating out in Vegas. As always, we got the Slap News Garage Sale, one of my favorite features. And we've got one of the top super heavyweight contenders in the world, Danny Van Heerden, joining us after midnight in South Africa. If you guys want to throw any questions for Danny in the comments section, please do so. Slap_news here on YouTube and Instagram. If you aren't following along, you're missing out on the hardest working guys in the slap game. Ding, my man, what's going on? How's things been for the past week?
Dude, again, last week I said that when we came into it, we woke up, it was a normal day, and then it turned upside down. Now, since we stopped the show last week and come all the way a week later into this week, it just hasn't stopped. Our DMs are flying off. I'm having trouble keeping up. Everybody's reaching out for different things. We got fans that are engaging, which, again, we always appreciate. There's tons of stuff going on. Dudes chirping at each other. There's a lot of rumors flying around. We're seeing the new guys that are coming off the show celebrating and doing their thing, going live and talking their stuff and telling their story. I mean, again, in the midst of nothing going on, there's a lot going on. We're a month away from Power Slap 8, and there's a ton happening right now.
Yeah, I mean, you just alluded to it. We're a month away. We don't know the headline matches yet. We thought we knew one of them. We thought for a long time we've been talking about it. We're going to get Austin Turpin and Wolverine 3, as Dana alluded to a little bit prematurely at Power Slap 7, post-fight press conference. Obviously, when they got in the war room for their matchmaking things, didn't shake out that way. Now we see, and I guess I'll say unofficially, we've got Austin Turpin putting Vern Cathy in his crosshairs. If you haven't seen the exclusive interview on Slap News after this live, head over there, check it out. Austin Turpin, in his classic way, does not mix words when he talks about Vernon Cathy and his intentions on what he wants to do. As you know, we're working hard. We're trying to get Vern on for a rebuttal video. So make sure you have the notification bell on. You're going to want to hear what the toy mechanic, apparently Vernon Cathy, according to Austin Turpin, will say about this video. It was great to see him be his classic self. And how exciting is it, my man? Austin Turpin, Vern Cathy has to be a number one contender match. This is almost gets me more excited than to see him go up against Wolverine right again. I'm actually happy Wolverine is sitting out an event, to be honest with you, to kind of recover after the last one. And this is excitement. What do you think, Ding?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think, like I said, we did the poll and there was mixed feelings about what Austin should do next. Does he get the trilogy, or does he need to prove that he can be back at 205, make the weight, so that when we have this match for a third time, there's no asterisk. There's no ifs, ands, or buts as to who's the true light heavyweight champion. I love to see Vern, especially somebody who's faced that kind of adversity. He was in the original, match for the title. He comes up short, and now I guess that mystique was kind of washed away. Now we see him work his way back, has an incredible return, if you will, or, a new coming. And for him to go up against a guy like Turpin, this proves a lot, right? If he can get past Turpin, that changes the landscape of everything, because Turpin seems to be, by all stretches of the word, he seems to be the guy. He seems to be the guy the fans love. He's got, as we've talked about, both publicly and privately, Austin Turpin's got that gift of gab, and he took out Wolverine, a guy that Dana White himself has gone on the record saying is considered the greatest of all time in this sport. He took him out in spectacular fashion, first person to knock him down twice. We want to see that match, but what better way than to let Austin Turpin touch another guy who we consider a great prospect and somebody who's kind of, like I said, he fell back, he's rose back up the ranks. I think that this is really exciting, man, and it gives the fans exactly what they want according to the poll that we did.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the only other person there at the top of that rank that Austin hasn't, been able to go through is definitely Russell Rivera. Another match that I think would be phenomenal to see, Russell versus Turpin. But I mean, right now, Vern Cathy, you cannot argue about it. I think Vern is very deserving. So he's fought some top level competition to get to this position. Very deserving of this opportunity to go up against Austin. And, I think it's going to be fireworks from the war of words leading into it, which have already started. And it's going to be incredibly entertaining on Fight Night come June 28th for Power Slap number 8. Definitely looking forward to that. We've seen a couple other guys. I mean, we've seen Zach Zane announce that he is getting ready June 28th, we're going to see the guy back in action. We obviously don't know who it's against, but I'm assuming that means he's been contacted by the Brass of Power Slap, and he's getting ready to show up to Las Vegas to show it again. We haven't seen Zach in a little bit. Let me correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was the Durango Power Slap number 6 the last time we seen Zach Zane.
You got it.
Back in action again. How excited are you to see Zach Zane?
You know, I want the guy to prove everything that he knows about himself and everything, and all the steam that the fans have had behind him as he comes into the sport. I just want to see him do it. No fouls, no, no asterisk. I just want to see him perform the way we all know that he can. That doesn't mean that he's gonna, I'm saying he can beat everybody, but have a clean match. Get yourself. If it's gonna be to the distance, let it be. If it's gonna be, a TKO or a knockout, let it be that. Enough with the DQs. Enough with the fouls. All of that creates this and we just don't want to see that, especially for a guy like Zach Zane, who has so much behind him, so much support, and so much belief that he can do a great job in this thing.
Totally. Last but not least, we teased it. The man himself, Danny Van Heerden. Who is next? Line him up. Let's go. June 28th. Danny, you want to line all of them up in the super heavyweight division? Who do you want, my man? Who could be excited for you? Let's go right off the bat. What do you want, my man?
Who could be excited for me? Obviously, everyone wants the belt. So Crazy, super excited for Crazy. The Heatman, number one contender. I'm not exactly sure how the ranks work, but the Heatman would be exciting. McKinney, I had you. Not so exciting. Going lower, even Evian. I've shared the house with Evian. So any one of the other guys, I actually thought Slap for Cash, but I'm not sure his training is going or what's going on there. Anyone in the super heavyweight division, I'll face them all. But the most excited for the Crazy. Most of them.
Awesome. Let's do a little recap. McKinney Manu. Overall, there's some talk in the world. Did he give up, or did the doctor actually stop that fight? From your perspective.
Well, in South Africa, he gave up. It's what happens in South Africa. In Vegas, he had an ear infection. So,
gotcha. Would you welcome a rematch against McKinney? I know you said it's not the most exciting, but would you welcome that to happen?
It depends. If it's gonna quit again, if it's gonna give up again, no. Other than that, I would welcome him any time, but that will be after I have the Crazy and I get to have a shot at him, get that belt, then I'll defend it against anyone who's there. I'll defend it against McKinney 4 times if I have to. But then McKinney, no disrespect, but then this time you're really gonna have to come with a pair. If there's blood, we're gonna fight. No offense, if this was me, I would have told the doctor, I could, even if I couldn't, because this is war. We only got 3 slaps, so doctors. But if I'm not gonna hear and you just see me nodding, it means I'm okay.
Awesome, my man. You touched on Evian Scott. You were in the house with him. We've seen him just go up against, the Hawaiian Hitman. What do you think of his, prospects in the super heavyweight division? Do you think there's still another gear to his game, or do you think we've seen all that he can bring?
Well, I definitely think everyone improves every time he's there. I remember the first time in the house against Brian. He put up a hell of a show, which actually shocked me. I'm like, wow, Evian, you got some. And then after that with the Heatman, to be honest, I thought the Heatman is going to put him to sleep. And he proved me wrong again. So, Evian, I definitely want to see you back on the stage again. I do think Evian still got a lot to bring.
Gotcha. Who else? We said the Hawaiian Hitman. We've seen him away for a bit. He's been very public that he doesn't train. Do we really think his heart is in it? Do we think he could be a champion one day? Where do you kind of see him in that entire landscape? I know he's still holding down the number 1 contender spot. He is above you in the rankings according to Power Slap. Where do you kind of see, and what are your feelings around him?
Well, to be honest, the Crazy and the Hitman are two brothers. So
Mhm.
if I would say me and my boot, if I would have been maybe number one and my brother the champ, I would fight him any day. I mean, we're going to business and we're gonna
Mhm.
hit it out. But to be honest, I don't think the Hitman really want to face the Crazy. I think they got a different relationship there. So either they will fight for more money, or I don't know. Maybe he wants his brother to keep the belt, and he just want to stay on top.
Mhm. Ding, you want to chime in at all? You want to
Pitbull,
talk?
my man. I kind of want to cut to the chase here. I don't know if you saw, but McKinney did this post where he basically said, I deserve the next shot. Doesn't matter how the last one ended. I'm the only one that makes sense. So we threw a poll up on our story for 24 hours, and it came back exactly 50-50. Some people said he deserved it. Some people said he needed to earn his spot. Why do you deserve to jump McKinney, being that technically you lost in the match against him, despite whatever performance you did have? Again, on the record books, it is a loss. Why make your case why you think you should face the Crazy Hawaiian for a title before McKinney Manu should?
I have never been rocked. First of all, Crazy have been rocked by Micah. Um, I can give a hell of a slap. I mean, McKinney breed after the second slap. So I can come with a slap. I can eat that slap. So this is going to be on a match on who's the biggest eater there, because I've got the whole to eat it.
Let's see it, Danny. Let's
Crazy's
see
got
it.
it.
Let's see the whole thing. Let's see it.
Oh, you want to see the whole? Here you
Easy,
go.
easy, bro. We're monetized on YouTube. Relax.
I won't go all the way topless. You've seen that. Yeah, and I definitely got the personality. I think
Mhm.
we can sell tickets. We can smack talk. I'm keen with it.
And then one more for me. If we threw a wrench in this whole thing and we said that there was a heavyweight, because a lot of these guys have talked about it. They've said, screw the dieting, screw the weight cutting. I'm just gonna go up to super heavyweight. What guy do you think from the heavyweight division that you could think of in a division full of guys like Ryan Phillips, Dorian Perez, those guys who get right to that heavyweight limit, do you think could really come up and be contenders in your division? Not necessarily for you, because I know it's hard for you to say like, oh yeah, this guy can give me a challenge. But who do you think could come up from heavyweight reasonably and really compete in the super heavyweight division?
Well, personal opinion, for me, slap fight is the most humbling sport out there. I mean, you can get knocked out by literally anyone there. Doesn't matter your credentials, doesn't matter your history. You can get knocked out by anyone. I mean, if you check the slap score, I think it was Zayn Zach that had the highest score on slap ratio. So if you go on stats, I mean, even Zach can be able to be on the super heavies. So for me, personal opinion, I would definitely say anyone with a heart is keen to fight in any division.
I hear you, Danny. There's guys that talk about coming up and going down all the time. For a little while, we've had Dwayne Crespo talk about going up. How do you think he'd fare in the super heavyweight division?
Well, Dwayne Crespo, if you're going to come up, I'm in that division. So it means you're not going to come higher than me. So pick wisely.
Awesome, Danny. There's something that I love doing. I think it's fun. I think it's lighthearted. I want you to put your best salesman impression on for me, okay? And I want you to introduce this next slide, all right? You game
Okay,
for it? All right,
I
let's
am.
go. On the left-hand side, what is that, Danny?
That is a bar counter, which it's one of mine, which I sell. Guys, you need to buy that bar counter. It's the only one in South Africa, and it's proper solid wood. Only the glass on top is cracked.
Gotcha. Does it come signed by Danny the Pitbull Van Heerden if you'd like? Or is that
I will
additional?
sign that for you. I'll take a photo with you only if you tag me and collaborate with me. And I'll throw in one of that only 10 collectible cards in the world in.
Look at that for 10,000 Ren. We'll do the conversion back. It's probably about 600 American dollars. You can have a one-of-one signed bar counter that Danny Van Heerden cracked. He signed it, and he will authenticate it for you. Can you get any more exciting than that? And do you ship to North America, or is it pickup only in South Africa?
Well, it's a COD, cash on delivery. And by the way, the counter cracked because I put my hand on it. I didn't even smack it. I just dropped my
Are you
hand.
sure, Danny? Are you
I'm
sure, Danny?
100% sure.
Are you sure you didn't have a lady or two on top of it? Come on,
No,
Danny.
no,
We need
no,
to
no. I
be
just lowered my hand on it. The slap hand, though.
the slap pen. Okay, it's so heavy.
Slap hand.
Would have been a better story, Danny. Come on, it would have been a better story, but I guess it wasn't quite to be.
Well, yeah, well, there's a lot of stories I can tell towards it, but obviously, Power Slap 8's around the corner. You know what?
Yeah.
This cracks glass, even touching it.
There we go. Shows you how heavy that hand of steel is. What are you doing right now, Danny? I mean, you doing anything different? You training anymore? Mentally, where are you at for this fight against whoever it is?
Well, mentally, I'm obviously prepared for whoever comes on, and obviously, after each match, you go back to the drawing board. So obviously, after my last one, I got a club or foul. So my aiming needs to be on point on the next one. So I'm focusing a little bit more on aiming with that extra power because with McKinney's second slap, I wanted to prove a point and I wanted to put him to sleep. So I put more force in, and obviously I was a bit out.
Yeah, for sure. So do you feel every time you go up there, you're gaining more experience, or you feel more comfortable? I mean, I know you've competed in pretty much every combat sport at a professional level. Are you gaining more confidence even just being in Vegas, being in the United States, knowing where you have to be when, the hotel? Is it starting to feel more like home to you?
Well, the nice thing about it is I can sort of click with anyone and get to know anyone fast. I don't judge. I know how to fit in, if I can say it like that. And while I'm fitting in, I know how to stand out. So I think I've got that personality to put a mark on wherever I go. So obviously, being in Vegas a couple of times now, stuff becomes easier. You start to know people, and they start to know you. On stage, going on at first, it was like, yeah, obviously you have to fight for a spot to stay on Power Slap. After that, we got the contract, so now we are there. So obviously now it's the road to the title, obviously, and obviously the each fight is going to become more difficult, if I could say it like that. But yeah, I'm ready. Aiming is on point. It's going to become more power. So whoever's next, ask McKinney how hard was that last slap, and make sure you want to sign with me.
Go ahead, Dig.
Danny, let me ask you. I imagine we'll see you in the title fight at some point in the future. You've been a big star since you started this whole thing. Corey alluded to your experience in combat sports. How do you see that match going? You versus the Crazy Hawaiian, assuming he's still the champion. You know, who wins? How do they win? Like, talk me through what you predict the outcome of that match will be and how.
Crazy Wine, I'm going to win that match. He will have two fouls. He's not going to knock me out. If he's lucky, I'm not going to knock him out, but he'll definitely lose that match on fouls.
Fouls. You think the Crazy Hawaiian is going to foul out? You don't think you'll be able to do what Zales did and find that off switch?
Well, I've been studying the Crazy One since I've heard about Power Slam, and I've wanted to face him not more than I wanted to face the dumplings. I wanted to face both of them so bad that I do believe Crazy is the only one that takes a slap like I take it, and he gives one like I give it. But I've seen him at Power Slap 5, and I've seen him at the one after. So there's a possibility he gets more fouls than what I would. I only got one since I started this. So yeah, I definitely think Crazy is gonna lose that match on fouls.
Interesting. I know Ding just had there's a comment in the chat. What's your take on Wolverine versus Turpin and everything that's turned into?
Well, if they're on weight, yes, I'm a Wolverine fan, but I'm also a Turp fan. So for me, that's tough because after Turp shows some huge power on the last one, he's obviously doing something right. So Turp, I'm gonna go with you. Sorry, Wolverine.
Ding, read that one out, my man.
There's a guy saying he wonders what you think about Turpin doing by disregarding the weight. So the big weight miss, resulting in him not being the champion right now. What are your thoughts on a guy in Power Slap coming out in a big match like that, a championship fight, and missing weight?
Well, personal opinion, what I would say, if you're on that level, you need to respect your opponent. So you need to get to weight. Doesn't regard anything else. You need to get to that weight. So first of all, if you didn't get to that weight, I would say it's a cheat. So yeah, he doesn't deserve the win because he never took it seriously enough to even make the weight.
Amazing. And then finally, can we get a little? The crazy has his version of it. Can we get
Well,
yours?
this time I've got two hands to eat it with. It depends which one crazy is gonna slap. So first of all, he's gonna go like, let me get to the camera, and then he's gonna go like, no, no, try harder.
A class act, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show, brother.
Yeah, Danny, we appreciate you as always, man. You said you're coming to Vegas. You're already on the time change. Like I said, it's after midnight. So I mean, we're sitting here 4 weeks out. How big of a difference is it for you to come over to this side? I know you're starting super early to acclimatize yourself, so it doesn't impact your overall performance. But do you feel comfortable that you're going to be in Vegas early enough so that you're going to be able to perform your best?
Yeah, well, on the first time when we went for the season, I sort of got my sleep routine right, so the jet lag didn't catch me that much. The one I went for a live event, I didn't have time to get my sleep pattern right, so the jet lag caught me a bit. But no excuses. I lost due to a foul, but luckily I got married to the best wife there is. But this time, whoever's up next, remember, I'm getting sleep pattern right already because obviously Vegas is like 9 to 10 hours behind us. So I know the future and it's going my way.
Awesome, man. I know every time you get out here, like we talked about earlier, you're getting more and more comfortable. The personality is second nature. That's one of the things I appreciate about you is I think the persona that you put on here in the interview, when you're on stage, when you're off stage. I know, Ding and myself, we've had the opportunity to go sit down with breakfast, and you are a great guy through and through across the board. You're the same person on air as you are off air. But I want to spice things up a little bit. You can call me an asshole later, but I'm going to bring in Makini Manu to the
stream. Wait. Makini, can you hear us?
I can hear you in my left ear.
Because I can do signature. I'm not sure how it goes.
I don't know South African Sign Language.
Okay. This is A.
Really? Is that?
Well, if I turn it around, it's yeah.
Makini, how you doing, my man? Have you been listening to us talk to Danny?
Yeah. Oh well, just the last bits, but not really the whole thing. But
awesome. Awesome, my man.
What I could hear,
would you want to have the opportunity to square off with Danny again?
Be honest.
Yeah.
Be honest.
That was fun. No, I would love that. I don't know.
Makini, be honest.
Oh, I think we're having some bad service.
Be honest with us.
Makini, listen here. You need to be honest. Tell them how hard that slap was.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie, your slaps were hard.
Ooh.
Your slaps were hard. What? Absolutely the hardest slaps I felt.
Oh, now you're this one. Which one are you now? This one.
You're good, Danny. You're good.
No, you're definitely the hardest slapper of the three that I've gone against for sure.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Yeah, but I would say for sure I would go against you again. But yeah, that week though, I was fighting that ear infection, so I couldn't hear anything, to be honest. So that's
you weren't supposed to hear anything.
Fight.
You were only supposed to count. It's like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I can't read lips either because I'm blind as well.
You know what? I'm the only slap fighter that knocks away your ear, your what do you say in English? Your how to hear, how to feel, how to smell, and how to see. 4 symptoms.
Oh, you knocked out 4 senses, don't you say?
4 senses. Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah. No, hey, you slap hard. But I've only had 3 fights, so.
Makini, let me ask you this. We asked Pitbull earlier why he should get the fight for the championship before you. Now I'm going to ask you the same question. Why should you get the fight before Danny Van Heerden gets the fight for the championship?
The only reason that I feel I should get the fight is only because I won. That's it. Now, if you say technique, style, whatever, I don't even think really super heavyweight hasn't done any disqualification type of hits. You know, so like you mean we saw Hitman last week. Miami fought. He stepped, got clubbing. So honestly, and even with Danny, he slapped me in the eye. Danny, my cheek's right here, buddy. All right, but you went for
No,
my
no, wait.
eyeball.
Here's the eye. I slapped you on the sleep. And then you couldn't see, you couldn't smell, you couldn't hear, you couldn't feel. This is the slow motion part. And magic, it's gone.
Oh, I think you're having some bad reception with McKinney. Is he coming back or is he gone now?
Well, McKinney, slow motion. Can't hear, can't see, can't smell, can't feel.
Oh, you back, McKinney?
At the worst
Are you back?
connection.
Oh, McKinney dropped out. Well, that was fun, my man. I appreciate you as always, Danny. Great to see you. Great to see the smile on your face, even though I know it's late for you. Ding, is there anything else in the comments section? Any other questions?
Nope, not for Danny.
All right,
It's all about
McKinney's
Western.
back one
There
more
you go.
time. McKinney, you got any more words for my man, Danny?
Yeah. Hey, if you get the fight, great. You deserve it. I think I deserve it too. But mine's just because I'm 3-0. But if you get it, I don't think there's anybody else that can contend against the Crazy Hawaiian besides you and I, in my opinion.
Thank you, and likewise. Thank you.
Yeah. But if we get a rematch, this is what I think they should do. All right, just real quick. The Crazy Hawaiian. If Danny wins, Hitman. Danny beats Hitman, Big Mac, big ultimate rematch. Because I'm the only person that gave him an L. So maybe Abu Dhabi. Who knows?
Awesome.
I don't know if you
Awesome,
guys heard that,
McKinney.
but yeah.
Yeah, we kind of did. Kind of made sense. But given your your prediction, your thoughts, we appreciate it, man. Having a hard time hearing you, but let's try and get you back next time when we can have you on a good feed. I know it was super last minute, so I appreciate you joining me.
Thank you.
All right, my man. All right, buddy. All right, Danny. Appreciate you, my man, coming on Smack Talk as always. Sleep well. Look forward to seeing that beautiful face again in Vegas real soon.
Thank you very much. Can I just reply there for Slapdog? I know he was supposed to fight me in the house and then he injured his arm and ran away. Slapdog, it would be a good decision for you to go down to a heavyweight division. Remember, you're a Slapdog. I am the dog.
The pit bull.
The pit bull. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Cheers, brother.
Here, Danny. All the very
Thanks, guys.
best.
Remember to follow me Instagram, Donnie Pitbull.
All right. Instagram anywhere else, Danny?
Sorry, say again?
Facebook, YouTube, anywhere else?
Facebook, Donnie van Heerden. Instagram, Donnie Pitbull. TikTok, of Donnie Pitbull as well. Those are the ones I'm growing. But remember, put a shout out for me on Instagram. I need it. If you got a photo with me, add me as a collaborator. I'll accept it. Thank you, guys.
There we go. All the best, Danny. Take care, my man. We'll talk soon. All right, Danny Van Heerden, McKinney, Manu, working at making sure that these guys are staying front and center. It was great to see both of them on the show, as always. I mean, that super heavyweight division, very exciting. Power Slap number 8, going to feature some of these guys. Seeing Danny back up there in action, see him hopefully pursue all of the potential that we see in him and the potential that we hope to see from him continue. Let's bring it back. Power Slap season 3 of Road to the Title. As we know, we talked about on the show for the last couple of weeks that they were filming and shooting. We're seeing some of the guys in Vegas Ding, you know more about it than I do. But on the right-hand side, we've got the Canadian, Eddie Spaghetti, and one of his buddies coming back from the show on an interview that we had here on Slap News right before Eddie was going to pick this guy up at the airport. We see them all smiles. We also see him there on the left. Do you recognize any of these guys? Come on, there's one notable guy in the back.
Oh, you're gonna make me do this, huh?
I am,
so
my man.
So that appears to be Darius Mataverona from all things that I can see, man. Which I don't know what this means, but if it means what we all think it means, that is not only a big twist, but also makes me even more excited to check this new season out.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Darius going from a coach to potentially a contender on the show? Season 1 to season 3? Is that what it looks like? Or is Darius back to coach again? I mean,
he's never on socials, so it's tough to tell. Mm-hmm. You never really know. He could be a coach very well, but either way, I'm excited to see him on the show in whatever capacity he's there for.
Yeah. I mean, another guy that comes into the top of the weight division, maybe he can try his hand at super heavyweight. We certainly don't know. Got a couple more, some guys hanging out in Vegas. Great to see the power slappers.
Look at that uniform. That's different.
Yes, sir. We know there's a deal in place with Fanatics now, producing the jerseys for the power slap strikers. We've got a nice new collared trim on it. You can see the faint look of the pattern throughout the entire shirt. As always, you got the monster emblem on the chest, but it's definitely looking sharp overall.
Yeah, I love the guy with the afro.
Yeah, it's neat to see, man. It's neat to see some of these guys there in Vegas seeing, to me, I mean, we look at it obviously from, more of the recruiting business standpoint of like, who are they looking at? Who are they bringing in? What are they using to bring guys in? What's that criteria? There's obviously a lot of strikers probably watching the show, guys that want to get into power slap. They're asking us all the time in the DMs, like, what should I be doing? How should I be marketing myself? I mean, the Chim Reaper, I think, is doing a kick-ass bang-up job, promoting himself to try to get another opportunity to come into power slap. Obviously, things didn't work out for him timing-wise. Unfortunate. I know we got that call. Been great to see him. But, I mean, you know what? The dude's being creative. The dude's being funny. The guy's showing his personality, and he's proven that he wants to be there. So, yeah, what's up with Lorenzo in the comments, my man? What's he saying?
Are the brothers ever going to fight each other? We talked about this in the past, and we used to be in the mindset that it would be a great fight. But after, I think it was Dane that went on the record and said he doesn't really want to hurt his brother. I don't want to see it anymore because I don't want you to go up there and half-ass it. If you're going to do it the full way. Or don't do it at all. And so now that we know that, he doesn't have that thought in his head, he doesn't want to hurt his brother for real. I don't want to see that fight anymore. So I hope not, to answer your question, Lorenzo.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've pushed this and I've asked Dana in press conferences multiple times about if this would ever happen. Dana, has always kind of denied that he ever wanted to see that particular fight happen. The brothers have always talked about if the price was right, that they would. And I know, Dan, you've talked about before that you thought maybe this wouldn't be the best fight because they wouldn't actually strike each other to their hardest potential that they could. Obviously right now with, Dane Vierna is not, winning unanimously the last little bit and proving that he's deserving. So obviously it's buying him a bit of time right now. And we're seeing some other guys in the ranks from, season 2, McKinney Manning. We're seeing Danny Van Heerden and potentially carving out a position for themselves. So, like if you would fast forward 6 months ago, there was no other real contender for the Crazy Hawaiian. We haven't seen him in a long time, but now we're starting to see some of these other guys from the show where they've really put a focus on that super heavyweight division and building that out. So I think that's a little bit further away now from happening of where it might've been 6 to 8 months ago. And I think for a lot of it, I think it's kind of put to rest for now. I don't think we're going to see it anytime soon in the making. And obviously we know that the sport evolves incredibly fast. We know their intentions to go overseas. I think that means that they're going to open up even more to international competitors. We know that they want to go to Riyadh. We know they have intentions in Abu Dhabi. which is a great segue because we kind of touched on it a bit before. Last week we didn't know for that SFC card that was taking place over in Abu Dhabi, but we got one match release, and I alluded to it earlier. Zales is fighting on the Slap Fighting Championship card on May 25th against Danny Rampage. We've got a super heavyweight showdown going down in Abu Dhabi. I mean, this is great to see it growing international. Could we ever see, I think all of us want to know, America's best versus the world's best? Zales, the only guy to knock out the Crazy Hawaiian. Will we ever see that match again? Will we see it in Power Slap? We see Zales coming back after a long layoff. Does that mean he's much more interested in slap fighting again? Who knows? I mean, there's a whole business side to it, but we know Zales seemingly being able to make it into Saudi Arabia or Abu Dhabi right now. Is that a sign when they get to Abu Dhabi? Could they entice him to come over? What do you think, Ding?
I don't know, man. I don't know that Crazy wants to see that guy again.
Well, you're world champ. You got to be world champ. Come on, you're like, I don't know what it is. The MLB, the world champ of baseball, and the sport is only played in America. You can't be the American champion and call yourself a world champion. I got a big bone to pick with the MLB, and you can't be the Crazy Hawaiian and be like, I'm the world champion, but I'm only going to fight in America.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a Canadian ranting about how great America is. Because to an American, America is the world, bro.
It is the world. Okay.
Like America is the globe. What do you like? That's what it is. It's the World Series, but it's between North American teams only. It's just how it always is. So I get it in Canada. I understand, the frustration. But if it's me, I don't want to see. I mean, I think a lot of the guys, the mindset is take the most amount of money for the easiest challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm Crazy Hawaiian, I'm not saying he's this way because that guy's game ever was. But if I'm Crazy Hawaiian, I don't want any smoke with anybody named David or Dawid or anything Zale. I don't want to go to Zale's jewelry. I don't want to fight Zale's the guy. I don't want anything to do with any Russians. Like, I just want to keep doing what I'm doing right now. That's it. Like, he's got a South African in front of him and a Samoan that he's got to worry about. He should. Yeah, I'm sure he wants to focus on those guys.
Yeah.
But you make a great point. Zales can get into Abu Dhabi or Saudi Arabia or both. They're right next to each other. So when they go global, it does beg the question: do we see somebody, a familiar face, come over? That would be bananas.
100%. I definitely agree with you, my man. Let's talk about Garrett Blakesley. We know he broke his hand, wasn't able to fight.
Broke his finger.
Sorry. Broke his finger. Going to social this week, my man, with some interesting topics for debate. See some of the guys obviously commenting below, but Garrett Blakesley, is he serious or is he just trying to be a comedian? Whoever said I couldn't walk around town with a beer in my hand is a bitch. And then we've got him saying the fact that I cannot walk into a restaurant with a pocket knife makes me want to hurt someone. Isn't that kind of the point to the ladder? Is that if you don't have a pocket knife, you're probably less likely to hurt somebody? I don't know, my man. What do you think, Ding? I mean, come on, you're the American. Is it your right to carry a pocket knife into a restaurant? Is that in your 10 Commandments and all the other stuff you guys got?
Dude, I don't know. It sounds like that guy needs a fight. It sounds like he's becoming homicidal. He just needs a fight. It's an interesting one, man. Us Americans, we love shit that hurts people. It's just how it is. And so, yeah, I mean, I guess, look, this guy makes a good point. Power Slap is open to the world. So if the world ain't coming to America where the world is, then he's the world champion.
Oh, that's awesome. And yeah, I mean, America, you seem to choose violence every day. So I guess we're on our way.
I mean, we're not at war right now. It's all good.
I guess not. Yeah, I mean,
we're having a blast.
There's 2 world wars going on, and you guys aren't part of one. So I guess that's
historic in it fucking self.
Yeah. We don't talk too much politics on this show. Try to stay, near and clear. Vegas is the Wild West. We carry everything. That's interesting. You know what? The funniest thing is I actually feel incredibly comfortable in Vegas, to be honest with you. And even like off the strip and at midnight, 1-2 in the morning when we get out of the press conferences and stuff. I don't know. You know what? I don't know. Maybe it's just the neighborhoods that I'm walking around aren't there. I don't know. To me, it seems like TV's lying, but I don't know. Maybe I'm only in the more privileged areas of town, I guess.
Nah, I think it's the 6'2" security guard from India that you have walking around with you when you're in Vegas.
Yeah, who knows, my man. But anything else you want to catch up? Any questions? Anything we haven't covered, my man?
Well, John Davis is in the chat, and Wesley James was in the chat earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, sorry, I'm just trying to focus this in so you guys aren't looking at me looking like a fucking rice grain. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know why the camera did that, but man, we've talked about it before. I mean, what makes sense? Like John has said, he's kind of sick of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Not being able to compete. Like, what do you think about Wesley Drain, John Davis 2 today?
What do I think about it?
Just keep in mind, you can't make Wes mad at us because he was already mad at us. So it's fine.
No, I mean, honestly, there's no one else as a clear, a clear definitive contender. I think we've got to see John Davis back up there. I mean, he's one of those OG guys. I think we owe it to him to stay active. He's ready. He's training. I think getting that guy up there, I think, is great for the sport. I would love to see 3 or 4 title matches on this international fight card. We're going to have, obviously, Conor McGregor on that card, the card UFC is 303 right after.
Yes, sir.
Right after Power Slap. So I think the more attention we can have to it, John Davis, great ambassador last year there, UFCX, in the Expo. I love to see him back up there. I think Wesley Drain is a great competitor. I think I would welcome that matchup to take place. I think it's going to be an absolute war as always. And I mean, dang, your camera keeps on getting worse. So, I'd probably stop playing with it. But yeah, my man, I think Wesley, he just keeps on winning. We see it become more comfortable. Like the personality that he's showing up there definitely becomes more and more. And why not? Let's run it back. I mean, if Turpin and Wolverine can happen, I think Wesley Drain and John Davis can happen as well. So let's get them up there. Let's get those belts on the line and see more of them, is what I honestly think.
What a way to avoid the smoke. Corey, don't want the smoke, swear, guys.
Yeah. There we go.
Dude, what happened to my camera, man? I don't know if we're doing the fans a favor because I got an ugly mug or what, but this is awful. I apologize for this, guys. I don't know what this is about.
Yeah. Awesome.
What
man.
else we got going on? Oh yeah, we talked about it earlier, but we had Danny on. So you got Turpin and Vern, man. They're going back and forth. They're making stories to each other. Obviously, if you guys have not seen it, we have an interview with Turpin out right now. It seems like Vern's the target, right? I don't know if there's any paperwork or if this is the way that they're going, but it seems like Turp's got his eyes on Vern for sure. And he's not saying if, he's saying when. So if we do see that match, I mean, what are your initial thoughts? What are you thinking about when you think Turp versus Vern? What are some of the things that the pop into your head when it's like, is it more about chin in that fight? Is it more about power? Is it about a longer game, a shorter game? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, 2 things off the bat. Obviously, one, Austin has to make weight. So we got to see him back at 205. We got to see him. Can he still have that power at that weight? But then really it's more on Vern. We've seen the tale of 2 Verns at this point. We've seen him, where we thought he was the greatest slap striker, in the world coming out of season 1, road to the title, with his victory over Mir Nuruddin. Then we've seen him get into, a couple losses and people were questioning his chin. We've seen him rebound again. So what Vern are we getting in this match? I think is ultimately going to determine how exciting this matchup is. I mean, as of late, we've seen the last 2 times Vern has gone up there and taken care of business. So really it's going to depend, like I said, who is it? Vern sometimes I think gets in his own way and he gets in his own head. We've seen when he did get knocked down in the past, his want and desire to get up incredibly fast. The bouncing around, the antics and stuff on stage. He seems to be wiser now than he was back then and not trying to be as, showy and flashy to try. Obviously everybody wants to get up there, and I mean, I'm not taking away anyone who gets up there, has balls of steel. I mean, but I think now it's getting up there, taking care of business, doing what he has to do, being much more calm, cool, and collected, and not worrying about all the extra stuff that goes into it. I think we're getting a more focused Vern. And if that Vern shows up, I'm telling you, it's going to be one hell of a match against Austin Turpin. These guys are going to go deep. These guys are going to bring incredible bombs. I hope we get a clean match. However, I do think fouls might come into play. I'd love to see this as a 5-rounder. I actually think 3 rounds is probably not enough for this. I think we're going to leave it wanting to see more. I can see this going to a decision and leaving all of us fans with wanting more of those, championship rounds at 4-5. I think this is going to be one that is, could be for the ages, and I hopefully we get, like I said, the new refresh Vern. We get Austin back, primed and ready to go. Ding, what are your feelings?
Real quick, I just want to touch on a point you made that I think is we never really talked about it, but there's this new strategy for guys to take the time that they have to recover when they get rocked. So if they get knocked down, they don't want to rush to their feet. They want to wait that full 10 seconds, stand up at the count of 10, look at the ref. The ref will direct them where to walk to show them that they're okay. And we've seen that a lot more, right? Maybe they stand up to their feet, or they don't, or they get to a knee and they don't move. And their coach, this is a new coaching thing that I've seen. And I think this is an example of that evolution of the sport that we've always talked about, that the media has asked what that looks like. This is it. This is these tactics, these techniques that guys and gals find out that that have worked for them, that give them a better opportunity to stay in the fight and continue on to the next round. When it comes to Amir's on my mind because somebody just said something about him in the chat. When it comes to Austin Turpin and Vern, the toy car mechanic, as Austin called him, I think this is a matter of, I think chin is more important here than the strikes. Both of these guys are powerful. I think that's going to nullify what, I don't know that it matters who hits who harder. I think it matters who takes the hit better. Historically, we've seen Austin Turpin have a tremendous chin. He's been rocked a couple of times. Vern, unfortunately, has been on the wrong side of some, pretty, I would say, vicious knockouts. So, but again, we saw this resurgence of Vern where he's now taking these strikes in a different way. I don't know what he's doing. I'm not sure if he's got one of those drawer size sponsorships that they're giving to everybody who has arms and legs. But I do think, whatever he's doing is working. And now that creates this intrigue for that fight where you really want to know, like, can Vern take the hit? Because that was the question way back when. It's crazy to say that, when he was facing AJ Hints, right? It was, can Vern take the shot? And so I think as we stand here today or sit here today, if that's the fight, I'm very interested to see. I'm very interested to see the answer to that question myself. I don't think anybody has any questions about Terp. It's just a matter of that confidence, right? If Terp hits you, like in the case of a Wolverine, and you don't waver, we've seen in the past he goes long, he loses. But if he hurts you early on, like he did in that second fight, now he pounces, and then he's able to hurt you again. So it's very, very difficult to kind of say which way that goes. But I saw that, and you would fucking put it front and center. And Matthew, whatever your name was, I was gonna give you your flowers for being dedicated to Wesley Drain and John Davis too. But now I'm gonna say fuck you.
I don't even know what's going on here, but I love it anyways, my man.
But that's another sick one. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about that we didn't talk about last week is what I say, Blackbird. What did I say? the other thing I wanted to talk about was the women, dude. We haven't seen any women lately. Where are the chicks at? Like, that's why we all watch Power Slap.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the women. What do we know? Obviously, they want to be able to grow to
practically nothing.
Division. We know that.
He said sorry. I forgive you, brother.
I'm still lost. I got no idea what's going on.
He said I look like fucking Slapdog or Kenny Florian.
He kind of has a point, but come on.
No, dude, Kenny Florian has fucking like long locks and like. No,
you're not talking Slapdog?
No. I thought he was at first too, and I'm like, that makes a little more sense, but still, fuck you. This is even worse.
Like, what do you like? Are we talking about Lorenzo Florian?
No,
the slap fighter.
No,
we're talking about Ken.
That's
Florian.
What I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought he was saying at first. Now I'm reading it. He said Kenny Florian, which is even fucking worse.
Like John Anik and Ken Florian.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't see that part. I don't see that part for you, Ding. If it was Lorenzo Florian, I could say I could see the resemblance. I could. Come on. No, you don't think so?
No, bootleg Tommy Hilfiger. I don't think fucking so.
You really?
Enough
Okay,
about me.
okay.
All right, we're gonna continue on with what we
really. Said. Okay.
It
So
was the
Lorenzo
jar-sized
Florian
comment.
doesn't look really.
They're like, oh, you look like Kenny Florian. It's not.
Oh, good.
No, this was it. The jar size comment. No.
Well,
I was just.
You know who you could ask? You know who you could ask about that? I don't have it here, but do I? You can ask Vern White because he made a 1-of-1 collector sports card of both me and Kenny Florian together. So, or not together, separately, but it was in the same video. So maybe there's a possibility. But Kenny Florian's been doing this a long time. Hasn't he been like 10 years with John Anik on the podcast?
Yeah, they love each other, bro. They're like fucking buddies. But no, I listen. I'm not giving any shit to jar size. I'm just making a joke. My goal here is to entertain. Because Corey's here for his looks. Obviously, I'm not. So I just want to make sure we're all good. That's all. No, dude. No.
Can we see it? Come on. If Lorenzo Florian didn't have had a shaved head, would he look like Ding?
No, dude.
You don't think so?
No, I look way better than that dude.
Really?
Yeah, my wife tells me all the time.
My wife tells me all the time. What do you think this guy's background is? I know, you're Puerto Rican. What is this guy?
He is Italian.
You think
he looks
so?
like he makes a mean fucking meatball sub.
I mean, I guess.
Where's he at, dude? He's here. Somebody tag Slapdog.
Tag Slapdog? Is he listening to us?
Yeah, he was on here. He was talking shit to Danny earlier.
Oh, okay. Too funny.
Dude, chat's cracking up. That's exactly what we aspire to do. That's why you guys hang out with us fucking weirdos every Tuesday. Dude, my camera did it again. You see, you fucked it all up. You start changing shit up.
I guess.
What else do we got? Let's get back to the real stuff here. So I said the women. Where are the women? We know Sheena's trying to be a fucking WWE superstar or something. R-rated. That if you want to know what I'm talking about, go look at her fucking Instagram page. But she's not slapping, and she doesn't look like she's interested in slapping at the moment. So where is everybody, and what is going on? Like we have some other women that we've never even seen, right? Kimberly Thompson. What's the other one? Josette Cotton. Like, where are they all at? I want to see some women get back up there at Power Step 8.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I think it's interesting because obviously they want to build out a women's division to go after that segment of the population. I think it's incredible. Every time you have women across the board, I mean, we're seeing it right now. Women's sports are on fire. We're seeing what happened with, women's basketball, and the WNBA draft. We're now seeing that on ESPN. We're seeing a ton of interest. We're seeing crazy jersey sales happen. I think it is a time where women's sports are becoming more and more relevant in the United States. Hard to say in the Middle East. I mean, that's a whole other animal that we won't even talk about. But right now in the United States, we're seeing the growth of women's sports. I think we're seeing more and more interest coming in for women and the need and the want. Do I think it's easy? Absolutely not. I don't think it's easy to recruit women, especially when you had such a dominant competitor as we did with Sheena at the top of the Power Slap ranks. I mean, could you imagine being Erica calling somebody up? Hey, I see you signed up for Power Slap. Your first match is going to go up against Sheena Bathory. Here is her highlight reel. Like, I don't think you would have to be Dana White on crank to be able to convince the majority of women to go up against Sheena Bathory. Obviously, we've seen Jackie Cataline come in, and we even seen her in the crowd at Power Slap number 7. We know she wants to be involved. We know she wants to be, a figure that continues to be important in that division and lead that next wave. We've seen her at the UFC Apex during other events. Nothing's been released of it. We don't know if they're filming promos, what they're doing, but we know she wants to be involved and around. I mean, we spoke to Christine Wolmarantz. We know that she has a desire to want to come back. But how do we get women into Power Slap? How do we make them interested in Power Slap? I mean, I think it's really the same way that they did back, 2 Marches ago for the men. I mean, I think they need to actually carve out for lack of a better term, maybe you need to run a tough style or road to the title style event. It might be a little bit early, But do you run a combine? Do you introduce them to be able to see what it's like to strike? Kind of bring that collection together. I think there needs to be a less invasive way for people to enter the sport, try what it's like. Then if they prove their want and their worth, and they still want to continue, then sign them to a contract to be able to then compete on either a taped or a live event. I think that's kind of some of the things that need to happen. I think we're going to see it. I think it's just a matter. There's a lot going on, obviously filming of the show. They're growing out divisions. We've got Robert Trujillo sitting there at 155 saying, hey, where's all my light guys at, and wanting to build out that division as well. So we definitely have a lot. I don't know, Dang, what do you think on the women's side? Do you think creating some sort of combine style in a less intimidating way might work to get more and more women into the show?
I think Los is right, man. Put them in the fucking house. Do a women's season of Road to the Title.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've seen it with Tough, haven't we? Did we see it? It's been all women's? Okay.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. I mean, you need.
How are the ratings?
I mean, the ratings for Tough have sucked for a long time, bro. Even the McGregor season was rough. It's just that's just not today's niche. Even Road to the Title, it's tough, right? Because that's the story. No pun intended. That's the story part of it all. And to be honest, like especially last season, the fights on there were either really short or they were disqualifications. Like there wasn't too many wars or anything like that. So it's like you see somebody get a first round knockout and then they come out and you haven't seen them tested and then they get fucking slept by somebody else on a numbered card and then all the hype disappears. So it's like all that time you spend on the show building up this character is worthless. So I just think it's tough for today. I don't know that that's the best way to do things. But what I do want to ask the chat is if we can't find women, so he said they have women and men together also. So on a little twist to this, John Davis, since you see it from time to time where there's integrated men and women in sports, and most people have a problem with it. But what if the person in the match against the woman is Paul Teague? Are we okay with that?
Oh, wow.
That's my question in the chat. If it's Jackie versus Paul Teague or Sheena versus Paul Teague, are we good with it? Because if that's the case, then I think we got a match for Powers Live 8.
Interesting.
Because Dave and Buster's is open fucking 7 days a week, brother. I'm done. I promise I'm done. The savagery is over. Like John Davis is like, yes, sir.
Oh, man. I mean, that will be something else for sure. We know we've seen some pretty crazy stuff in some other leagues and organizations, and three-way slap fighting. Will we see a Paul Teague versus Sheena Bathory in power slap? And would the chat be okay with it?
I'd actually open that line at minus 1,200 for Sheena. That's not even a fucking joke.
Minus 1,200. Okay.
For Sheena, I'm not even joking.
Interesting.
Paul Teague would come at plus 700.
I mean, Sheena Bathory would have to cut weight though to make that one, unfortunately.
No, 55. She'd be fine.
You think so? I think she lost more than 55. Come on, man.
Yeah, but she was fighting at. I think she fought warm rounds at like 45 or 35.
45. Yeah, she almost killed herself and wasn't able to.
But she fought Jackie at 55 and she was fine.
Yeah.
Until the slap.
Yeah. What do you think? Is that actually potentially what is holding back the women's division? Is only having a 145, 155. If they were to introduce a 125, 135, would that attract more women into the sport? Because I mean, think about it, like 145 on fight day, 155 on fight day, like that's a big woman. Come on, let's be real.
Nah, I don't think smaller sizes. I think the smaller they are, the less likely they are to get KOs, which is what you want. You want to see that stronger people. But as you can hear, I got the zoo behind me. They're getting ready to.
Oh, good. But draw me the parallel in the women's division of UFC. What is the most exciting, the most popular? I know they just had, and she's slipping my mind now, long-time reigning champ, the Brazilian that just retired in Vancouver. But like
Amanda Nunes.
Yeah, Amanda Nunes. But like, what's the most exciting division right now in the UFC, and what is that weight division? 35?
No, 15.
115?
Yeah, but not for knockouts. It's just the most exciting because they got the best talent.
I don't know, but I'm just trying to draw a parallel. Like, if you want to make it, there we go. Hey, here's actually, this is the guy we should get on payroll. This guy should be a matchmaker at Power Slap. Come on. Trujillo and Sheena. I'd actually open the line. Actually, that would be interesting. I think that could be like a minus 120, minus 120 for Sheena Bathory in that one. I think, because I think Robert Trujillo still has to overcome some hurdles. One, he's got to get out of the daycare for the day. And then two, he's got to be able to reach Sheena Bathory. So I think minus 120 is a good line for Sheena against Robert. Ding, what do you think about that?
Bro, if that's not a joke, I'm concerned. I'm sending Rob this clip though, big dog. You got an enemy. You got an enemy, bro. That's fucked up. That is so. That beats the Paul Teague one by a long shot.
Did I have a straight face? Or what,
it looks like we're losing people here, brother. We're down.
All right, buddy. Let's
love
call
chat.
it,
We
my man. Appreciate you
always.
All right, buddy. All the best. Take care, guys. Appreciate you joining in. Until next time. Keep it real, Ding.